You want to tell us a little bit about that song, Lucky?
That was it our most recent single? No, it's not.
Nope.
I think that would be Sure Enough.
we hadn't released any music for years, so everything since then feels recent.
Yeah,
but,
that totally makes sense.
I think it came out last year, and it's one of the songs from our most recent record. Which did that come out last year?
I
think that was 2022.
Everything is in like the last 3 years is recent to us.
I feel like time just for everyone is
I know.
compressed. So.
It kind of, that song actually came during the lockdowns, because we'd finished a record and we were about to put it out, and then everything shut down, and so we couldn't really put it out. We couldn't tour or do any of these things, and so we got back to writing again, and that was one that sort of ended up materializing, and we decided to add that to the album along with a couple of others, and fortunately, let's say last year it came out.
We'll assume it's last year.
Yeah.
We'll assume my geography is right and your timeline is right, and everything's fine. I do know that just last week, I think it was just last week, you guys had a remix come out of what I think is actually your latest single, Sure Enough.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
Which, like, I kind of dug into, and you've had a lot of remixes come out over the years, including one from Devo, which I stumbled across, which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
and like,
that was cool. Yeah.
how do you guys get like really excited about having people remix those songs? I feel like that's got to be so fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to hear someone like take a different turn on something that you feel like is something that in your head that can't be changed. So it's cool to hear someone else's take on it. I think just like when we were kind of starting out, we kind of it was a big thing in like 2010, 2009.
Mm-hmm.
We were
signed to a dance label as well. So,
I don't think I knew that.
It was an electronic label that signed us up first. And so that was their thing. Their roster was filled with DJs and electronic musicians. So it seemed like the natural thing to do.
It was the time of the indie disco.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It was cool because it was super cool for a while. And then like everyone was into remixes, and then it became not cool. And then it was like, no one's interested in remixes anymore. But then now it kind of feels like maybe they are again.
Yeah.
They're back.
Yeah. I feel like
it does feel like the 2010s are back.
I mean, we're doing the whole like indie sleaze revival now. So it's all back now.
Finally. Thank you.
We never went anywhere, guys.
No. You just everything is full circle eventually,
No, but we're still current. We're not a nostalgia.
No, that's not what I meant at all. That's not what I meant at all.
We're a new band.
No, because that's what I was going to ask you too, is I feel like your music has, while you've retained your tour cinema club sound, like it has definitely shifted over time, and you've been putting out stuff like pretty consistently, despite the pandemic and everything, since your debut came out, which I think was almost exactly 14 years ago. And
yeah, pretty much.
Like, how has your approach to creating music changed? If it has at all, I guess I shouldn't assume, but...
It's always how it's changed has always been different, and for different reasons. Sometimes we decide we'd like to try something different, and then we made our first record in London with very little money, and that fortunately did quite well, and we got in touch with Jackknife Lee, who was a producer we all looked up to, and that was a big change that we went out to LA and worked out there. And then, like I just mentioned, during the lockdowns, we were restricted, so it was kind of by necessity, and we started trading stuff over email and trying to do it ourselves. And for the last while, that's kind of stuck. It's really nice to we don't do stuff over email so much anymore, but because we can see each other. But doing stuff ourselves has been a new lease on life for us. It's provided a new kind of freedom. We're not restricted by studio times or by working to somebody else's clock. So that's, it changes for different reasons, but it certainly always changes.
Yeah. Does that, so obviously the process sounds like it's shifted in multiple ways over the years. And do you feel like that kind of affects the material that comes out too?
Almost certainly. It's never, I feel like whenever we make something, we're never aiming for anything. It just kind of, it happens, and we know when we're done.
How do you know when you're done?
I guess when we stop talking about it.
Okay, yeah.
It feels almost like it's kind of come full circle, in that whenever we started out, we'd be recording the demos at home ourselves and then putting it up on MySpace, and it feels like now it's like the recordings are better that we do ourselves, but now just kind
But
of
back to doing it yourself.
We stick it up on Spotify now. It's almost
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a lot quicker, a lot
It's kind of the
less.
same thing.
A lot
Yeah.
less of a convoluted process. There's no big pre-production time, no big studio, extravagant experience. It's almost kind of back to how it started,
Yeah.
but just slightly more professional.
It's funny. I feel like whenever I'm prepping for these interviews, I always go down or often, I guess I should say, I go down a little more of a rabbit hole than I mean to. And I actually tried to find your old MySpace page today because
Oh,
I saw
really?
some
Is
reference.
it still there?
Does MySpace still
Like
exist?
it
Didn't
pulled
Justin
up.
Timberlake buy it at one point?
I think he did. It pulled up a page, but it was not what I remember MySpace looking like, and I couldn't really do anything. But I did it because I saw somebody reference unreleased tracks from way back that were on your
sure there's
MySpace
a
but
lot of
nowhere
those.
else, and I was like, oh, that'd be fun to find.
Oh
but
yeah. I mean, back when we were starting out, we would aim to write a song a week and then put it on MySpace.
oh
And
wow, okay,
So I don't know how many songs went on MySpace and never went anywhere else.
that's
Yeah.
that's a tall order.
Yeah, we stopped doing that after a while.
Was that pre-debut album?
Yeah.
How many of those ended up actually getting the official release?
Probably 2 or 3.
Okay, wow.
But we had
Yeah.
loads more.
My new goal now is I'm gonna go dig up 50 songs by me that are hidden.
Yeah, there's probably some bad stuff on there. Yeah, stuff that we'd probably not want to see the light of day again.
And speaking of rabbit holes, moments of time. So I did see a story when I was getting ready for this too that you guys played a Battle of the Bands, I think it was, as a different band name when you were young and got last place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that
Yeah.
true?
Dead
That's
last,
true.
yeah.
I think that's pretty funny considering we're here. You're about to
Look at us
play a
now.
sold out Nashville show.
See, they didn't know anything.
What,
I
what was
think,
the?
we were 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Local TV, Battle of the Bands. It was pretty high production, in fairness.
I mean, kudos to you to, I feel like a lot of people can get pretty demoralized by that. I don't know that. So kudos to you to keep it going. Did it sound a lot like what your music sounds like now? What was it? No? You,
Not at all.
what was the kind of,
I mean, it was teen angst, I think it was
like pop punk?
almost.
No.
A bit more emo.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Emo was the thing of the time.
Oh yeah,
and,
yes.
so
I'm
it
aware.
was- yeah,
I
it
was listening to that a lot.
It was whiny. It was
Yeah.
very whiny.
I think in hair and makeup for the TV show, a few of us did ask the older lady who's brought in to do the makeup to put some eyeliner on us.
Yeah,
and that's
you did.
probably a
Black
good
eyeliner,
representation
yeah.
Okay,
of
that says a lot. Okay, but there's hair and makeup in TV. This is higher production than I was imagining. I'm
Yeah.
picturing a school auditorium with
Yeah, no, it was the BBC put it on.
Oh,
But
okay,
It was
okay,
our
yeah.
local BBC in Northern Ireland that put it on, but still the BBC.
Yeah, no, I fully misunderstood
Yeah.
what the level of this was.
But yes, I think the failure in that band kind of drove us on for sure. We definitely had a bit of a chip in our shoulder.
Yeah.
People telling us we weren't going to do it.
Well, I think there's certain people who respond to
Yes.
negative feedback and others who respond to positive feedback.
Yeah.
And I am a positive feedback person.
Oh.
But I think that there's a lot of motivation to be found in
Yeah.
being told you can't do something.
For sure. I mean, it's that kind of small town syndrome. I think it exists everywhere. It's
Definitely. Yes.
Everyone would tell us that we were good, but the idea that we could do this for a living was don't go there, don't think about that. That was kind of the thing. So people were encouraging in one way, but the leap that we wanted to take was beyond anything that they would have recommended for
Yeah.
us.
Well, here you are.
Here we are.
I guess follow-up question. Do you think you deserved last place?
No, I think we had the unfortunate luck of going first. And so they scored low. I think they were expecting a better standard overall. When they heard what was afterwards, they thought, oh gosh, we can't give everyone 2 out of 10. So
Yeah. The winners were good, though. They were a good
Yeah.
band.
Yeah. Are they still around? Do you know?
A couple of them did go on to form another band like us, and they were called General Fiasco.
That does sound.
Yeah,
That sounds fairly
They
familiar.
had a pretty big song back in
Yeah.
2009,
They did pretty well.
2010.
Yeah.
sounds familiar, but not as familiar as Tudor Cinema
Not
Club.
as
Yeah,
familiar
that's
as
true.
Two Door Cinema Club. No.